This is the limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Jr.
The Mexican Rey Fenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
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 Boston Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome, everybody, to BWO Live, coming to you from across the Busted Wide Open universe of Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is episode number 334 of Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And starting the show in my mood is Mansoor. Ending the show in my mood is Mustafa Ali. I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and welcome to the show, everybody. Yes, indeed. Today we will be reviewing Raw, and we'll probably be throwing up more birds than Matt Cardona at a GCW event. That's right. It was a rough watch last night on Raw. As if this is any news, we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to discuss AEW because they went on Friday this week, right in the middle of our show, so we couldn't review it then. So we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite from last Friday as well, and we're going to talk about last night's Dominion pay-per-view big show over in New Japan.
You're not going to want to miss that.
And you are not, because I got words for you. And they're mostly
my God
about how the prophecy done come true. We're going to talk about all of that. It's going to be a fun show. The prophecy has come true. Gelfling. We are going to talk about so many things today. I cannot wait to tear apart Raw, Nick. Oh, my soul.
Strap in,
but
folks.
we have so many things. Oh, boy. Oh, we're feisty. We're fired up. At this point, Nick, how are you feeling about Raw? Like, where are you at with your feelings on Raw? Let's do this now before we get to business. Like, let's tease everybody about our feelings about
I've been through the series of emotions, the entire range of emotions. I've started out with sadness, and then that went to, you're not mad, you're just disappointed, and then I went to, God damn it, I'm just mad because there's no excuse anymore, and that was a couple of weeks ago. I kind of had a little pulpit moment, and now I've gotten to this point where it's the worst possible reaction they could get from a WWE fan, and that's indifference. I just don't give a anymore.
Ooh.
It is what it is. They obviously don't care about us, so why should I care about them? I'm going to watch it.
Right.
We're going to talk about what they did on the show. I am not anticipating I can remember a time when I would schedule my entire week with friends around Raw and SmackDown.
Sure.
And we wouldn't go out on certain nights. But no, I can't go out. Raw's on tonight. No, I can't go out. SmackDown's on. Well, you know what? Why don't you guys come over? We're going to have a case of beer.
Right.
Homie's bringing the good stuff. We're going to sit around and watch wrestling for 3 hours. And it was like, oh, my God. Is everybody here? Are you guys here?
Right,
oh, my God, I'm going to be late. You ever texted? You're paging people, letting them know, hey, I'm going to be late because they're going to miss the Fast forward 20-something years, and I'm just at a point where I'm just like, they've just quit trying.
It's funny because in the 4 years and change that we've been doing this show, we've actually gone through the WWE cycle, as I like to call it, where we get, you get to this point where you're sitting here going like, I don't care what they're doing. They're killing me right now. But then we turn around and 6 months later, we're like, man, it's must-see TV. It's killing it. They're killing it right now. They're doing so good. I'm genuinely interested if there's anyone out there who is a WWE fan, who's a WWE defender. I want to know what you're seeing in the show that's keeping you entertained. I'm very curious if even WWE fans at this point, people who are like diehard, ride or die WWE, are watching this, and if they're genuinely enjoying it, what they're enjoying about it, what's keeping them invested. Or if they're also kind of like, yeah, it's not that great right now. Like, I'm genuinely curious because, Nick, where I'm at, I went past This is like we've had a couple of weeks where I've railed on the show. I've been pretty negative and down. I'm past that now.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're past that and you're indifferent. I'm actually impressed.
I don't think I've gotten there. Maybe that's the final stage. I haven't gotten there yet.
I'm actually at the point where I watch in morbid fascination to see how badly they F things up. Like, how do you screw this up? How do you take this segment, which should be good, and screw this up? And I'm still trying to find the nuggets of gold in the giant mound of doggy dung. Sorry, Dog Ziggler. That is the show right now. And there are nuggets of gold. There are moments where I go, that's good. That's good. But in a 3-hour show, that you can't maintain watching the whole thing on a couple of little shiny nuggets in a giant nugget of poop.
Yep.
So but I'm sitting there going like, wow, you guys are really bad at this. You are getting paid billions of dollars to do this, and you can't execute this. I see what they want to be doing, what they maybe even think that they're doing, but they're not accomplishing it on an appreciable scale that the mean audience member would look at and say, yes, you are accomplishing what you are attempting.
Correct. Yeah.
That's impressive. That's impressive to me that you can be paid this much money, be making this much profit, and still be this bad. I'm amazed. Yeah. I'm at the point of being impressed.
I will say the last time I felt this way was around 2006 when I quit watching. I didn't have a show to support. I didn't have a partner in crime to do this kind of thing with, to be able to rail on it about. But yeah, combine that with, moving to LA, kind of rebooting life a little bit, and that's kind of when I stopped. I picked it back up again 5 years later when I came back to Raleigh and kind of was sitting around I had nothing to do, right?
But that's the thing but as you say, now you have a show. Yeah. Now we're here. We're compelled to watch it every week. People are falling off. Like other shows are like, screw it. We're doing it Tuesday, just like BWO does it. The Cage Match is actually saying we're not going to do review articles. We're just going to give you the play-by-play. We're not even going to review it anymore. Like people are dropping off of Raw right now. And it's funny because I don't want to. I want to be here when shit gets good again because it's the WWE cycle. They have too many talents in there. There's like when audiences come back, there's going to be a chamber of reactions to this. Like I'm in. I want to see when this happens, how this happens.
You like watching you want to watch the car wreck, basically. You're rubbernecking.
I'm rubbernecking. I'm driving by in slow motion. I parked my car. I parked my car. I grabbed like the extra hey guys, bag of.
You guys aren't gonna believe this shit. Come here. Just got your phone out.
Believe this shit, man. Oh my God! They somehow got the rear axle in front of the front axle. I don't even know how they managed that. Like this is nuts. That's where I'm at. I'm just sitting here with my old, moldy bag of Cracker Jacks that I had in the backseat of my car, just popping them in. This is wild. I
do find myself pining to watch AEW. I do find myself excited to sit down and watch NXT every single week. Those have never let me down from the beginning. AEW's been hot, and there's a certain element of the newness, novelty of that is kind of starting to wane a bit because they are getting to we're in a hype train already. I haven't even done the business yet. Thank you guys.
I got critiques of AEW. Already.
Absolutely,
this week, so.
Absolutely. And this as AEW continues to expand, I think we're gonna see a little bit of a balance as well. As maybe the timeshare of the week kind of levels off a little bit when it comes to the wrestling content. So I think it'll be interesting to see if WWE can maintain that leadership that they have, ratings. In the market share of wrestling content, week to week, right? That's what I'm looking at.
While that still matters.
While that still matters. Hey, let me throw some stuff in real quick. Mr. Divian, resubscribe for 10 months with a Twitch Prime. Thank you, sir. That means you get a little bit of chicken. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome back. Sheppy threw in 100 bits. Said, like I said about a month ago, I've started watching Street Outlaws. Yeah, that's a good show. And flipping to Raw on commercials to see what is going on. I have almost lost all hope until Vince gives it up. And that's the scary part, is when you get to that point of indifference and lost hope is where you go and start watching Street Outlaws. And that's the exact opposite thing of what they don't want to happen. because then you start losing
they can
ad
see
buys
you.
on USA, and USA execs start going, or worse, NBC execs start coming down and going, hey,
Why are people flipping away?
What's with why are your numbers dropping? Do something about it. Anyway,
we'll see if they get to that point. They're still one of the highest rated things on USA, so they still have leeway.
You can only watch the Matrix reruns and I don't know whatever else plays on USA, whatever. Let's see. Sheppy throwing another 100 bits said, I'm tired of all the rematches between pay-per-views. Damn it, use your entire roster and do something worth watching instead of rehashing 6 months of material over and over again. Yeah.
You know what's crazy, Sheppy, is I actually looked down their roster. They only didn't use about 3 or 4 people on this Raw. The only people on their current Raw roster that they did not use on this show, they did not use Akira Tozawa. They did not use Angel Garza. I'm going down alphabetically. They did not use Damian Priest. They did not use Grand Metalik because he's injured. They did not use Jinder Mahal and his new faction. Shanky and Veer, I think, are their names. Lacey Evans is pregnant. Let's see. Mandy Rose. They didn't use the tag team division, the women's tag team division. Because Naomi doesn't have a tag team partner anymore. Womp womp. And that's and R-Truth. They didn't use R-Truth or Reginald, but they were off for a reason. Riddick Moss is out with he has a brother or sibling or a kid that has that is immunocompromised, so he's out because of COVID. But yeah, that's who they didn't use. They used almost their entire roster, and Titus O'Neil. But I mean, so they didn't. You could have used. I think they're waiting to use Damian Priest in an angle he's being held off for a reason. Same with Jinder Mahal. But you could have done something with Jinder this week. The bottom line is that they didn't not use that many people for a 3-hour show. I thought about this when they double tapped Kofi Kingston and Matt Riddle. They used them twice on the show, so I did think about that. But they didn't. Their roster feels big, but it's just not being utilized properly more than being not utilized.
I think it was Bischoff that said that somebody along the way came along and said, you've got 300 people on your roster, you're only using 78 of them. I don't know. I think Sportskeeda reported that last week. It was a statement from Bischoff from his podcast or something.
In 2 hours this week, AEW used nearly a half again as many people as Raw used, and Raw has an extra hour.
Right. Thank you, Sheppy. Jacob resubscribed with a tier 1 for 10 months. You get a little...
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jake. Welcome back. He says, I have not watched Raw outside of pay-per-views in months. 3 hours is too long for me, and I'm just not interested in anything unless the masses say something is worth watching. Yep. And I've discovered in some recent research, we'll call it that of the 3 hours, almost a full hour of that is commercials.
That's correct.
I think the actual runtime of the show is like 2 hours and 3 minutes. From
and
a
it's actually less
programming
than that
standpoint.
if you talk about replays and whatnot. So it's wild. They're making a 3-hour show out of 1 hour 45 minutes of actual content.
Thank you, Jacob. Kyle throwing 100 bits said, I will say that the first Raw with fans back has absolutely been made must-see TV to see a crowd eat the backstage crew alive over the Alexa stuff and face Riker. We'll talk about that. Among all their issues, like watching the end of Blues Brothers with all the cop cars crashing. Yes. Good reference, Kyle. Good reference. Thank you very much, sir. Costanza threw in 100 bits, said, stuck at work, but want to show my love to the BWO family. Hey, Chris, thanks for showing off the new merch, too, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks good, dude. That looked good.
That purple's hot. I love it.
It is.
Let's see. Sheppy threw in another 100 bits at AEW and NXT are so much more compelling to me right now. Yeah, I agree. And and maybe that's just the ebbs and flows of things. The wrestling industry has always had that kind of as a nature.
That's what I'm saying.
And to your point, Ian, I'm wondering 6 months from now, let's call it post SummerSlam, we're going into Survivor Series hot with fans back, live shows back on the road. Or it could be worse. We don't know.
Come talk to me the week after the 22nd. Working on hooking up them SummerSlam tickets.
Nice.
Maybe going there for that. We'll see. We'll see.
Costanza threw in another 100 bits, said, I'm convinced Vince either doesn't care or is waiting for crowds next month. Yeah.
Or both.
Thank you guys for all the bits and for the hype train. Thank you guys for that.
Yes,
you
you
guys
are
know where to
awesome.
find
Thank
us. Linktree.com/BWO. We're not going to spend too much more time on that. Thank you to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all the bits and subs here on Twitch. YouTube, we see you over there. What's up, Troy? Throw in the bits or the super chats. Join for just 99 cents. You can get your emojis, badges, all that stuff over there. Plus, you've got your $5 and $10 tiers over there on YouTube, so you can ask questions in the BWO mailbag every week, and you can get access to the bonus episode videos on demand as well. So lots of stuff happening across the board. We love all you guys. Thank you for all the support. But Ian, it's time. We have to go do it. Let's go talk about Monday Night Raw.
31 years ago, Kawada versus Jumbo Tsuruta at Budokan. 22 years ago yesterday, it was me, Austin. It was me all along. And yesterday, our worst fears were realized when Shayna Baszler was scared to death by a doll, by a spooky little doll on Monday Night Raw. Yes, in the legendary vein of Chucky picking a fight with Rick Steiner and Ultimate Warrior showing up in Hogan's mirror on WCW and no one being able to see him but him and the cameraman, Shayna Baszler decided to pick a fight with Alexa Bliss in the main event of Raw. We had Alexa's playground moment in the ring. Shayna coming out to tell Alexa once again, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of your stupid doll. Your doll is stupid. You're stupid. And I'm going to kick your ass. She grabs the doll, throws it at the ground. Alexa Bliss attacks her. She gets thrown outside the ring. Shayna goes over and very dramatically, thanks cameraman, very dramatically steps on Lily, Alexa's creepy doll, which makes all of the lights in the place go haywire, which spooks Shayna enough that she goes rolling out of the ring. Starts backing up the ramp, and then fireball after fireball shoots from the side of the ramp.
I thought it was at a Rammstein concert.
All right. Till she runs to the back, ostensibly doing what I would do, which is be like Undertaker at an Elimination Chamber and be looking for the pyro guy, like, why are you trying to kill me, fool? But no. This is obviously done by Alexa Bliss and Lily. So Shayna's now backstage. Everyone's somehow vanished. The lights are all spooky, yuki. Stuff starts trying to, all this backstage props start trying to fall on her. She can't find any doors that open. Lights keep going out. She's spooked. She ends up running into an office room where handily Mojo Rawley's old mirror is propped up against a wall. And she looks in that thing and sees Lily behind her. But when she turns slowly around, Lily's not actually there. She turns back and looks in the mirror. Lily's there again. Oh, God, she's so scared. She kicks the mirror and shatters it.
And then
we
screams
see Lily
at
in the
it very
broken
aggressively.
Glass. Screams at it very aggressively. We see Lily in the broken glass. The lights go out, and Shayna goes, "Bah!" And that's Raw. That was the go-home moment of Raw. So, Nick, last week, we said, Shayna's going to have a chat with Alexa Bliss. This will probably be terrible. It will probably make Shayna look absolutely horrible. We suspected it was going to be a match. Instead, it was just another playground segment. Not sure why they didn't have this chat last week. They had to have the chat in the ring this week, but okay. Was it as bad as you expected? Was it as bad as social media is making it out to be? Was there any redeeming factor here? What were your feelings on this segment? Take your time. It's fine.
I wanted to like it.
Okay.
I want to like this. But I don't. Mm-hmm. I like little jump scary kind of segments. I think they're fun. They're trying to be creative. It was more like you were going through a maze at Halloween Horror Nights. That's what I felt like when Shayna was going through the backstage area. That's kind of the impression that I got. The doll's messed up. I actually got a little excited when Alexa attacked her. I was like, okay, fine, cool. We're getting some physicality finally. Let's
Except Alexa kicked her ass.
Except Alexa.
Come on.
Tiny little Alexa, it grounds and pounds the ground and pound her in Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler, trained by Billy Robinson and Josh Barnett, two genuine badass catch wrestling specialist monster. Josh Barnett's a beast. He's been to Monday Midnight Metal Madness at my bar, Nick. We've talked. I've hung out with him at PWG. He is huge. And he can do things to your body that will put you in excruciating pain without even trying.
And he taught Shayna Baszler how to do those things.
He taught Shayna Baszler how to do those things and how to professional wrestle. Professional
wrestling,
professionally. You know what I'm saying? She is a genuine badass, and the company is having her be spooked by a doll and beaten up by Alexa Bliss.
This following a long string of losses and roll-ups and questionable, match finishes and all of that stuff from the likes of Reginald, Natalia.
Cool.
Right?
Cool.
All of this stuff. So while I want to like a level of creativity that I'm often drawn to in this kind of stuff, I can't look past all of the other stuff that's happened. I needed Shayna Baszler to be the one that would shut Alexa Bliss down, that would shut Lily down, that would end this whole whatever the hell is going on. I needed Shayna Baszler to be this thing, right?
Right.
And it doesn't look like it's going to turn out that way.
And that's fine. Like, look, if the company does not perceive her that way, fine. And I don't think that they do. They at least see enough value in her to use her as someone who is potentially threatening, right? They're using her as someone who, like, I'm putting myself in the mind of the company, what they're trying to accomplish with this segment. And they're trying to say, look, even the most scary, badass person will be scared of what Lily is capable, what Alexa Bliss is capable of, right? That's the philosophy. That's what we're going for, right? My problem is this was all executed poorly by a company that seems to lack the proficiency to accomplish what they were actually going for with all of this. There were moments that I thought almost worked.
Yep. Like
taking away the kind of ridiculousness of, the preset pyro blowing up and scaring Shayna up the ramp. It's an intimidating moment. It was actually pretty cool.
Especially the climactic one where all the flames go off.
Sure, like the whole place blew up. Like we had the Inferno match, right? Recently. We've had Kane versus Undertaker in an Inferno match. We've had Kane blowing up the ring post every time, and it's like, ooh, it's supernatural. Okay, I'll buy into it. Fine, it's kayfabe. I'll go along with it. Shayna stumbling around backstage was, at some points, it was shot and edited actually fairly well.
Yeah.
At other points, you can't help but know there's a cameraman there, and it ruins the immersion. Like when she goes into the office and the cameraman zooms in and there's a fucking cameraman shadow on the goddamn door. You idiot. That completely breaks the immersion.
It does.
And this is my problem with it. If you're going to make it a cinematic moment, make it a cinematic moment. Like, you have to make a decision. This is for a company that wants to be supposedly, quote, the next Marvel. For a company that compares itself with the storytelling of Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, you've got to understand video storytelling, film storytelling 101, which is choose a perspective.
Yeah.
Are you Misa and Scene? Are you putting your camera? Are you making it so that the audience is aware that there's a live cameraman in the scene? And if so, stick to that and have the cameraman be part of what's going on in the world, or make it cinematic and there is no cameraman. The audience is sitting there as a god eye, if you will, right? Yeah. An all-seeing eye. You're arbitrarily put into the scene, by using this all-seeing eye. And you're seeing what they want you to see, but there is no cameraman there. Pick one. You can't have it both ways, because then we sit there and get pulled out of what's going on because we're too busy thinking which it is, which one of those it is. Where are we supposed to believe there's a cameraman there? Are we not? Is it real? Is it not real? When does it stop one and become the other? So there's a lot of techniques that they're not doing to make this all work as well. And so we're sitting here and the first impression is, wow, if this is supposed to be quote unquote real, it's dumb. It's dumb. If you want to make this heightened reality, supernatural, whatever you want, you have to make a strong choice. That's the case. This has been the problem with most spooky things that WWE has done. Even when they went full cinematic in the swamp match, like they're just not good enough filmmakers to be able to pull that sort of thing off.
Yeah.
So that was ultimately, I think, what the problem with this all was. It's with a fundamental concept, but at the end of the day, in wrestling terms, you can make that work. They've made supernatural Goonie stuff work before, or at least to the point where we can kind of roll our eyes and go along with it, right? We've had Alexa and the Fiend all this year.
Where this went wrong was the doll. Like coming out of WrestleMania, you had my attention. Alexa Bliss sitting atop a pentagrammed Jack-in-the-Box with black goo pouring out of a thorny crown on her head. Like, whoa, you had my attention. What they did to the Fiend is another conversation. But you had my attention as far as Alexa Bliss is concerned. Where they swerved us and tried to be clever and said, oh, no, it wasn't me. It was just this doll all along. Huh? No. If this has been Shayna, and I want to read Kyle's comment here as well because he alludes to the Carrie narrative that seems to be going around a little bit. If this were Alexa Bliss doing these kinds of things and we were told that it was Alexa doing this, yeah, that would probably work a lot better. If there's still issues of execution, to your point, but what I can't get past is the doll. I just can't get past Lily.
Fine, but this is where I'm gonna actually say I can actually make a case. The argument that I'm making, the things they're doing wrong here are things that are structural. They're things that are technical. Not liking a character, not liking how they're portraying a character, that's a matter of opinion. That's you saying it doesn't work for me, brother. Right? And that's subjective. I'm saying objectively they're doing this wrong.
Yeah. Both.
So and right. So in a bigger picture thing, we can talk about objectively how they're going wrong with the Alexa and Lily characters or whatever you want to call them.
Sure. Objectively
how they're portraying Shayna in a way that does not help her character, does not help, forward any storyline. Here's the thing, if what they're trying to do here isn't fundamentally flawed. Make Lily look scary by having her freak out one of the scariest women on the roster. That is, yeah, okay. If what you're trying to accomplish is make the doll scary, that is fundamentally a good idea. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I get behind that. It's how they're doing it, how they're executing it. Everyone's coming out of it saying, this is stupid. So somewhere between a good idea and the final product, you screwed up.
Yeah, but Shayna's not one of the scariest women on the roster right now. They're turning her face as part of this, it feels like.
It doesn't feel like they're turning her face at all.
But she doesn't feel like the scary monster that she was in NXT because she's been getting, chumped for the last 3-4 months.
Well, it's funny you say that. She actually does feel like the face in this a little bit because she's the one who's being screwed over by a dumb tag team partner who's just got her sommelier dick on her mind. She's the one who lost her tag team titles because of supernatural forces. She's the one who's now, like going out there and confronting the bad guy like a badass. Like, I empathize with Shayna more than anybody else in this whole scenario.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. She's ostensibly the bullying heel. But they've lost the plot so long ago with her and with everyone else that they don't know what they're presenting.
Yep.
So it's all a mess. It's all a mess.
Hey, Kyle threw in 100 bits, said the worst thing about the main event is that it was exclusively about putting over a doll. Not Alexa, who all of a sudden doesn't have powers to attack people, and not Shayna, a doll. At bare minimum, someone smart should have suggested Alexa turn all carry on Shayna from killing her doll rather than the doll. At least then it makes some logical sense at trying to get someone over. How does a company do The Undertaker that can't understand how to produce horror at all? I just don't think The Undertaker was horror. That's the fundamental difference there.
He was in his own way. He was definitely horror-based. Like, you go back and look at some of his old vignettes, like, he was definitely horror-based.
Sure, maybe stuff where he's in the back building caskets and Paul Bear's that's terrifying.
He's coming for your soul. It's definitely more Spirit Halloween.
Probably not the new Paul Bear anymore. That hurts.
I don't mind. But here's the thing. Like, that was what it was for its time. Conversely, Undertaker almost never got pinned. And it was a big deal when he was. Now, granted, Alexa has been pinned in forever, so you could argue that she's kind of... I don't even want to compare this to The Undertaker. No, it's apples and oranges. It's apples and yaks at this point as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I feel like we beat it to death. The only other thing to call out, we did have a thing backstage with Nia. Nia coming up and going, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, maybe we can get back together because there's no other teams in the tag team division.
Right.
Maybe we should mend fences.
And I think that's a great opportunity for Shayna to go, nope, and just go whoop ass.
Two questions. One, do you think that Shayna and Nia will reunite, or what do you think's going to happen with Shayna next week? What's going to be the outcome of this? Is Shayna going to be like all messed up like Sylvester in that one episode of Looney Tunes where he stays in the haunted mansion and all the little rats try to scare him?
I have no idea.
She's just like a mess at the end. What's going to happen with her?
It's very hard for me to invest in Shayna Baszler right now after what they've shown me for the last few months.
Ouch. That was my next thing I was going to ask. Is Shayna beyond saving at this point?
No, nobody's ever beyond saving.
Okay, and that's actually my opinion as well. Actually, that's kind of what I was wondering because I'm thinking back to Bobby Lashley. Right? Look at him now, a year after being in a Lana marriage angle.
Top of the world.
Top of the world, baby.
Maybe the best thing he's ever done.
So before all of us sit there and bemoan Shayna being ruined forever, just take a deep breath and remember, hey, Bobby Lashley.
A year and a half, 2 years ago, Bobby Lashley was backstage talking about his sister and how his sister beat him up and he didn't really like her and all this kind of stuff. And, Sami Zayn.
Yep. Somebody get Shayna an MVP.
Right.
Speaking of Lashley, he was partying backstage again and had to have a contract signing with one Drew McIntyre, who was sitting out in the ring in his chair with his kilt on, looking nothing more than like a bratty teenager. And Lashley doesn't come out right away, so Drew decides to regale us with it's story time with Drew McIntyre, Nick.
He basically told us the plot of Braveheart.
How did Drew go from one of the most charismatic, engaging faces to just I dread every time they give him a microphone? Holy shit. He's sitting there going like, well, there was this man named Robert the Bruce, and he lost a bunch of battles, and then he was sitting in a cave, and there was a spider, and the spider couldn't make a web, and the Bruce said, it's just like me. I relate to you. And then he's like, the spider finally made the web, so the Bruce said, I'm going to fight once more, and he went out and he won Scotland's freedom. Hooray!
I have no idea what you just said. Can anybody translate?
All right, fine, we'll bring out Lashley. And out came Lashley. Finally, Lashley
did the spider in the cave? What?
I don't. What the hell? I'm just like Robert the Bruce. I'm like that. I'm like him watching the spider in the cave. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, I'll win Scotland's freedom. At least in the short term, of course.
Now, if he comes out with the blue handprint or the blue stripes or whatever on his face at Hell in a Cell.
They didn't even wear woad at that time of the Scottish. Anyway, that's a whole. I'm not even going to get into all the historical inaccuracies in Braveheart or the fact that Robert the Bruce, quote, won Scotland's freedom for a very short period of time before England beat them into the ground again. And they still don't have their own. Anyway, it's a bad metaphor, Drew. And at the end of the day, he did the one line he did say that was just amazing. Was Lashley? I don't come out here with your external charisma, and what do you call it? The Lashley train?
Oh yeah.
For all, oh my God!
It's
for all
time once again for everybody to step aboard the Lashley train.
Wow! For all of the crap that MVP has had to fend off from the internet community, calling this the new hoe train, for Drew to actually call it out, made my
for your
eyebrows.
face of faces, Woo! Drew McIntyre, to invoke the hoe train.
Yeah, you're calling them the new Godfather. Damn. I wasn't mad at it. It's hard not to see the similarities. Yep. It really is.
Yep.
Because Lashley does come out with all his ladies. Lashley ladies comes out, and I have to say, Lashley in this looked like a goddamn champion, and Drew looked like a petty school child.
Yeah.
Because Lashley came out and said, "Whatever, dude. I'm gonna sign this contract, but if I beat you, you can never challenge for my title again." And Drew said, "Fine, but we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna do it in a place where there can be no interference. No one's gonna mess with us." Apparently, he's never watched this match before.
Right.
He says, "Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. The very first Hell in a Cell, there was an interference, Drew. Should we tell him this?
No.
It was interference that caused Undertaker the match in the very first one. Okay, dude, whatever your weird Scottish logic is. Fine, Hell in a Cell. Lashley says, fine, you know what? We'll do Hell in a Cell, and I'll beat you there too. Signs the contract, gets up, starts to walk away, and Drew takes out his big sword and cuts the table in two.
That was funny.
I'm sorry. From my place where I was sitting, Lashley looked like an absolute beast monster of a champ, and Drew looked like a just petty little bitch in this. Was that what you thought, Nick? Did you actually think Drew looked good here?
He looks desperate, is the word that I would use.
A little bit, right?
The desperation is showing.
It's not a good look for what's supposed to be your like A1 babyface champ, potential champ.
I get fighting up and all that kind of stuff and whatever, but yeah, I want Drew being stronger than this. Not he looks like he just won't. He's obsessing at this point, and now we've built a stipulation at Hell in a Cell so that if he doesn't win, he can never challenge for the title again.
Good. I hope Lashley wins.
Well, I mean, they'll have him over on SmackDown challenging Roman the next week, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, here's the two options.
Yeah.
Drew wins at Hell in a Cell. Yay.
Yeah.
And we're all, and frankly, you've killed a lot of what made him special. You killed a lot of the audience's interest in him. Based on their reactions at WrestleMania, people are just as into Lashley, if not more so, than Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
It could be a big error to have McIntyre go over right now, given the way that his character feels. So that's one option. McIntyre goes over, and we go back to crowds, and the audience is not that into your champ. That's not a good thing. The other option is Lashley wins. Drew can never challenge Lashley again for the title, and someone else comes along and beats Lashley. Brock Lesnar. And or whatever. I mean, Lesnar versus Lashley at SummerSlam, that's a good match. That's a good card.
I'd have it.
But then it makes Drew look like he can't beat Lashley, which we know he can because he's done it in the past. But he never has that chance to get that one up on Lashley. That doesn't make Drew look good either. They've booked themselves into another catch-22 here.
They should have waited for they keep it in your pants. Wait till SummerSlam when you got a full house back.
Yeah. Insert Kofi. Have Kofi work two pay-per-views with Lashley.
There you go.
You had it right there. And instead, you had Drew go over one of the people that the audience has the most sympathy and empathy for, making him look like even more of a heel. And yeah, you tried to like assuage it with the handshake after the match. Kofi's like, well, I guess you were the better man tonight there, Drew.
All shucks.
Oh, gosh darn it, Drew, you got me. I guess I'll go back to the mid-card with the tag teams. You know, that's not a good look either. This is scarily John Cena, Hulk Hogan booking for Drew McIntyre here. And they're falling into the same traps they did with those guys.
Yep. That's a good reference. The Hogan thing. Andy threw in 100 bits for you specifically, so if you wouldn't mind checking chat and reading that. But he also gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. So, Fear Loathing in New York City, M-Fam, Jason, Johnny B, Kumal, Ryan429. You all got a gifted sub from Cyclops. Make sure you thank Andy for your gifted sub. Thank you so much, Andy, for all those. Ian, are you ready to answer Andy's call?
I am. I'm so bored with Drew McIntyre.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I'm officially there, Andy. I hate to say it. I truly believe he should be the face of the company. The face, the guy of the company.
They had it perfect with him and Roman Reigns on the other end of the spectrum.
Bollocksing it up right now.
Yep. And now they've booked themselves into a corner with Hell in a Cell where you can't have Lashley Drew. You can't have Drew go over Lashley at SummerSlam for the first time in front of fans to get the coronation he deserves from over a year ago.
Nope.
Now what do you do? So it just, again, at the point, like I was saying at the top of the show, a level of indifference, like, all right, all right.
Fine, guys.
Cool.
The one moment of the show that I wasn't feeling that, though, Nick, Kofi and MVP.
Yeah.
Meeting up. Now, we're going to talk about the tag team turmoil match that opened up the show where New Day did not win, but they were involved.
Mm-hmm.
And Kofi gets caught by MVP going back to the locker room afterwards. And MVP essentially tells him, what happened to you? I wanted you to be like, he was like, I was the biggest fan of Kofi Mania. And it's true. Like there's the legendary video of him and Shad Gaspard, MVP and Shad Gaspard in the bar watching Kofi win and both of them bursting into tears.
Yep.
He said, what happened to you, Kofi? I used to believe in you, but now you're just, you're happy. Basically, you let it end. Like, you know how it ended abruptly? You let it end. You were happy to go back to the mid card. You'd rather be in show business than actually like a champion. And he started to say, you just want to be back here shucking and jiving with your friends. And Kofi goes, whoa. Hold on a damn second. I'm here because I want little kids to watch Raw and see me and be inspired by me. And why, he says, I fight for pure reasons. Why does Bob fight? Bob Lashley. What does he fight for? Money? And MVP says, no, he fights for honor, prestige, and the accoutrement that come along with being champ.
A la Ho Train.
Well, sure. But still, what do you got, Kofi? What do you have to show for this?
Pancakes.
You shaking Drew's hand after he beats you. That's what a loser does. And Bob Lashley's not a loser. What are you? So it was compelling. It was interesting. It was well done. It was intense. It hit nerves. It hit big nerves. It was a little bit fourth wallish.
Yep.
Fourth wall breaking. I sat bolt upright for this. I went back and watched it again. This was the peak of Raw. I was sitting there going, all of this. What is going on here? But what did it mean, Nick? Later on, Kofi comes out to have just a singles match with Matt Riddle out of nowhere.
For reasons.
Okay, where did this go? Do you think they're building towards Kofi possibly, like the New Day joining the Hurt Business? Kofi turning heel? Where did this come from? What is this? What was this?
There's rumors Xavier might be done. There's rumors that he wants to go focus on his other stuff.
That guy could make as much money as he's making now, if not more, just working on streaming and Twitch and
being
G4.
An influencer.
Yeah. He's fine. He doesn't need to go take all these bumps.
So my point is if they needed a way for Xavier to ride off into the sunset and they wanted to flip Kofi and have him join the Hurt Business, having a falling out between Xavier and Kofi, and that leads to that. I don't know. There's all kinds of I'd hate to see the New Day go away. They've been an amazing tag team for the last.
They're 1/3 gone as it is.
I understand, but there's still story to tell there. You can have a reunion with Big E and Kofi one day. You know,
way down the road.
Way down the road.
But what, you don't think that it's kind of killing the golden goose to turn Kofi heel? Or do you think there's something compelling to be done there?
Alongside MVP, I think there's something compelling that could be done there. Yeah. I don't think they turned both of them because everybody would just kind of turn their nose up at it and go, oh, they couldn't get it done with Cedric and Shelton, so they went and got the New Day. That would be my first reaction. I mean,
Cedric and Shelton were great, but the New Day's the New Day.
That's true.
Just calling it out.
Andy, 100 bits. Still can't believe MVP still carrying Raw. I couldn't wait to say that. It's just bizarre. I was going to say the exact same thing. Go back to pandemic era. Go back to Royal Rumble 18 months ago.
Yeah. We were
all joking.
What the hell?
We got the teaser, or the leaked photos of MVP's Tron coming through the window of Minute Maid Park or whatever it was, and we were all like, MVP.
What the hell?
What? MVP. Oh, with his stupid nose band-aids. MVP. What?
And 18 months later, we're like, thank God for MVP.
I don't know where Raw would be now without MVP for the last 18 months. I can honestly say that.
He's earned his acronym entirely.
Yep. He better get every award. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy.
Let's talk about Riddle versus Kofi real quick here. We got to move on. We got a lot of show to get through.
Yep.
So this is interesting. First of all, both RK Bro and New Day lose the tag team turmoil to start the show. But then we end up having Kofi versus Riddle. Not completely out of nowhere. Riddle has faced off against Xavier Woods, gave him an RKO, and beat him with Randy's move. In this match, Randy came down to ringside partway through because he told Riddle that he might come see him. He was irritated with him for most of the show. Not surprising. But Matt Riddle tried to show off to the RKO master at the end of this match, tried to give him the draping DDT, and then did all the showy stuff, all the banging on the mat before the RKO, and Orton was like, dude, you're wasting time. Don't do that. And sure enough, after a bit of a back and forth, Riddle ends up getting pinned by Kofi Kingston. And Randy is disappointed after this match. Where's this going? Are we turning? Do we have any more indication that they're turning RK Bro heel? Like, is Riddle going to have to go heel to get this feud really going? Are they going to end RK Bro before we even get crowds back and it really even gets started? The other greatest thing on Raw?
They keep cutting him off and doing the whole lock and key thing.
That's now being overplayed. A cute little single moment. And now they're doing it like, to be fair, Riddle's finding ways to keep it being funny. Where like he's actually inserted into conversations. Oh yeah, if you ever want to be quiet, you just get the little key and you did it. Like he is doing things to keep it funny, but it is dying very quickly.
Yep, being overused.
I give it a week before it's on a T-shirt.
Kyle Thrun 100 bits said Kofi is Daniel Bryan babyface energy. If you pull the trigger, that's a hard genie to put back in the bottle, unless you're Daniel Bryan, and they pulled it off with him a couple of times. Also, we have too many heels as is. I want someone to cheer for on these main shows. I think that's an interesting point to talk about. Maybe that's where my indifference comes from. I don't have anybody to cheer for right now. I don't have anybody to mark out for right now.
Their baby faces are either dumb or assholes, and their heels are not exciting enough and don't win enough to be scary, and are also assholes.
Yep.
The only heel that they have that's like really kind of awesome right now is Lashley. Like, I want to cheer for Lashley. He seems like a absolute badass. Can you think of it? What other heels on? Well, I like Sheamus too, but he's being weird, for lack of a better word. We'll talk about him in a second.
Yeah.
Because right now we got to talk about AJ Styles and Omos. We open the show with the entire tag team division in the ring, minus Grand Metalik, who apparently is injured. So for some reason, Lindsay Dorado is in there alone. AJ Styles comes out to blather for 10 minutes and tear down every team along with Omos. And then out comes Miz and Morrison, thank God, to break that up. And Morrison says, yes, Miz is in a wheelchair, which he was. Yes, I am now using a water squirter to get over. That's my gimmick.
What is it, the drip gun?
The drip stick.
Drip stick.
But I'm going to go into this match solo.
Hashtag
and
drip
then
stick.
I will face AJ and Omos by myself because I'm Johnny Drip Drip, and that's just what I do. And then they do the Morrison's entrance, and Morrison lets go of Miz's wheelchair as he comes down the ring right as they hit the slow-mo. In probably one of the other greatest moments on Raw, and Miz's face, they capture in slow-mo as he goes, and like the wheelchair goes down the ramp. It was pretty funny.
I was dying laughing. I was dying laughing because everybody in the ring was dying laughing.
Right, and no one could help themselves.
Right.
And after how awful AJ Styles' promo was at the top of the show, and just like, oh my God, just don't talk. You have all these teams in the ring, and they're just standing there. Do something. Talk later. Action now. What are you doing? At least that was a nice break in that. And then we get into the match. And, of course, Lindsay Dorado, John Morrison, first ones out because they are the singles wrestlers representing their teams. So why even bother? Mason T-Bar looked strong for about 2 seconds and then get tossed out by everybody else. Nice little back and forth. Cool move. Kofi Kingston stomping on Eric, who's being held in the air, or Ivar is being held in the air by Eric, who we're about to do basically like a assisted senton. And he gets flattened by Ivar, but ultimately tossed out along, as I said, with RK Bro. Viking Raiders do win, and they're going to face AJ Styles and Omos, who meet them up backstage. Omos is chewing on the turkey leg, which made Ivar very jealous. They commented about how basically all the Viking Raiders like to do is eat and smell bad. That is your tag team division, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
So when you talk about indifference, what about this could have been changed to make you less indifferent? Or was it an exciting finish? Were you excited? Because I know you're a Viking Raiders fan.
I'm a Viking Raiders fan. Absolutely. War Machine.
There you go.
I absolutely liked the finish of this. I also liked that T-Bar and Mace looked kind of strong, and it looks like we might be moving forward with them as a tag team. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the hand wave. I'm with you. We could get there. I haven't lost all hope. I did also see a moment with Dijak and Matt Riddle, and I kind of marked a little bit. I was like, oh, yes. Oh. Bring it back. Anyway, I like that this is who we're going to go with next. Got to give it. I like the backstage bit with the turkey leg. I don't like AJ Styles saying the things that he said because it makes him seem like the cool bully on the high school playground, and they didn't really have anything to come back with. Like, they just stood there and took it. Like, that's War Machine. Yeah. They don't need to sit there silent.
I did like when AJ was running down Lince Dorado in the match. He said, yeah, with all the high-flying stuff that you're doing, it's really incredible. Of course, I was doing it 10 years ago, but I was probably your favorite wrestler. And you see Lince Dorado mouth, well, you were. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a nice moment for him. But aside from that, you're right. Everyone just going to sit there and took it. And, so.
Calthrin 100 bits said, all hail our new role model, The Miz, with Morrison, not Nitro. I'm so glad WWE decided to take this idea from AEW. Miz and Morrison will make gold out of this. What idea from AEW? Are you talking about Britt Baker in a wheelchair?
Britt Baker in a wheelchair. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it kind of is. He's already got the little, like the horn. He's got like a little mirror on there to look at himself before he comes out. Like, I can see Miz like doing stuff with that gimmick that's going to be really good.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
spoiler alert,
he maintains it's not his ACL and he's not going to be out for 9 months. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. So let's knock out the rest of Raw here. The rest of the women's division is also garbage. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte team up to face Asuka and Nikki Cross.
Why?
Because they want to find out if they can get along. Can they coexist, Nick? A question we may never know. We may never know. Can they coexist? Let's find out. Let's throw them together in a tag team.
Did we not prove at WrestleMania that this was a terrible storyline to do?
Right. It's Bianca and Sasha part 2, and it was a shit. It was a shit
and
build
Asuka
then.
And
it's
Charlotte
a shit
back
build
then,
now.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. The shit build then is a shit build now. And Nikki's the one. Nikki and Asuka is a more compelling team than make them a tag team. Have them be the new women's tag champs. I'm in. I'm down for Kroska. Or if you're a nerd, Oski. Ascii, Oski. No? Anyone? Okay. Oski. Anyway.
No.
No.
Just
no. 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 You don't want Kroska? I'm there for it. They're fun. They're engaging. They're animated. They're entertaining, which is more than I can say for anything else in the women's division right now.
My fear is that they are bungling Rhea Ripley on Raw.
They are. Oh, they completely are.
And we were scared about this. And frankly, they're also kind of doing it with Bianca. They coronated 2 new women's champions at WrestleMania on the main roster, and they're doing all with them.
More the issue is that she's not able to show her charisma right now.
No.
She is not exuding the charisma that we know she has.
She can't get out from under Charlotte Flair's shadow.
Well, because she's doing this like I'm too cool for school thing next to Charlotte, who's doing an I'm too much of an asshole for school thing. And because neither of them really care, but yet they both lose their temper at each other. And Rhea can't control her emotions, I guess, is her defining factor. And Charlotte says she's professional, but she's really not, is her defining factor. Ultimately, you have 2 very uninteresting, unengaging characters.
Yeah.
You don't want to root for Charlotte, which is the point, but you also don't really like it's heel heat that doesn't make her engaging. You don't care about her.
Yeah.
And you don't care about Rhea, but she doesn't have the bonus of having that fun heel aspect to her. She can't even be fun. Like, at least Charlotte's having some fun with her heel character and vamping it up a bit. Yeah. Rhea doesn't even have that.
No.
So, yeah,
I appreciate what Charlotte's
terrible.
trying to do and doing. I think that it's a mistake to try to put a brand new champion, a brand new call-up in the shadow of that.
Are there
in the same orbit as that? Because what Charlotte is doing is really, really good work. And I absolutely respect and appreciate it. But it almost feels like it's dragging her down in her ability to do that kind of stuff by associating it with someone who is not quite as strong of a champion as she has proven to be. Charlotte, I mean.
Yes.
And that's where I'm struggling with this a lot.
There's story they could be using here.
Sure.
They could use the fact that Charlotte beat Rhea at WrestleMania and Rhea has never beaten Charlotte. you could use the fact that Charlotte is the multiple-time champ and Rhea is the new kid on the block, and Charlotte can say, "You're green. You don't. I have the experience. You should be following me." There's so much grist to be used there, but instead we're getting, "Lol, I'm better than you. You'll never be me. Ha ha ha," and this kind of silly, petty, unintelligent competition. Neither of them are looking smart here. They're both looking dull as oxes. It's not making either of them look good, despite what they're trying to do. And that brings me to something Kyle Cotton's saying right now in the chat. Thank you, Kyle, for the 100 bits. He said, "While I hate the trope usage and how this match was made, I loved the match. It was a can they coexist done right with the escalating passive aggressiveness. I actually went back to watch this to see Charlotte and Rhea interact, and they finally get physical. Then the pat on the head Charlotte popped me. A bunch of really good little things Rhea did in this match." And he's talking about the fact that when they tagged each other in, like, things escalated. There was a build to the match. He's right. This was not completely poorly built, this match, in terms of as a match. And Charlotte and Rhea going from like not wanting to tag each other in to like tagging each other harder to actually like kind of like pettily, passive aggressively here, you can get in now, sweetie. And Rhea coming back and just bam, 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 bopping Charlotte in the head like, "Your turn."
I would have liked it better if they had done the thing where you pop him in the back of the head.
Yeah. But that, to me, it's not enough. It's still not. It's the bare minimum, and it's still not serving a bigger picture that is anything beyond just the most basic of interactions between the most basic of tropes, the most basic of competitiveness. At least they're having these two be like, "I'm a better wrestler than you," and that's the basis of this. Not, "I'm prettier than you," which is what we're getting from Liv Morgan and Carmella on SmackDown. There's not a single compelling women's feud going on right now on the main roster of WWE.
Nope.
And I'll rest it at that.
Yeah. Jay Wolf threw in 100 bits, said, hey, just turned off work and am tuning in. Did I miss anything good on Raw last night, or was it a normal Raw? Love you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Jay.
OJ, you're coming in the middle of it.
It was a normal Raw, if by normal you mean pretty much how it's been since WrestleMania.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Yep.
One last thing I'm going to bitch about before we move on. They actually had Nikki in her promo for this match when she was going to decide which partner she was going to get. Ultimately, she decided on Asuka. She said, "I know I'm not the prettiest. I know I'm not the smartest. I'm not the most experienced." And I sat there and went, is that what creative's perception of Nikki is? That she's the least experienced between Charlotte and Rhea and her? That she's the least pretty of the three of them? That's where they're coming from with Nikki Cross?
Oh, man. Please go back and watch that cover. Nikki Cross trying to set up for fighting Asuka in NXT, where she's just on the roof, just slamming a jacket down and screaming again, over and over.
I'm not even talking about the stuff she did.
I want to see crazy Nikki back.
I'm just talking about the basic fundamental concept that in 2021, you have writers writing one of your women who's not the 6-foot-tall blonde to say, "I'm not the prettiest in WWE." Meanwhile, on SmackDown, you have the tall, mostly fake blonde saying, "I'm the prettiest woman in WWE." That's very telling, and it's very disappointing. It's sad. Also sad, Sheamus's face.
Ugh.
Because
and that haircut, good Lord.
Just all around, Sheamus looks like shit right now. Yeah. With the jacket and the way he's hunching over all the time, trying to protect his gold. He got elbowed in the face by Humberto Carrillo last week. It looked nasty then. It looks worse now. But this week we had Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet have a match to determine who is going to become the number one contender for Sheamus. And it was almost starting to become a good match when they did a Spanish fly off the apron onto the floor. Ow! And they couldn't get back into the ring in time. So it was a draw. And Sheamus laughed at them and walked away. Nick, the most notable thing about this to me was that Sheamus called them a pair of gobshites on TV.
And it didn't get
beeped. I stand and applaud you, Sheamus. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
So just like that Spanish fly, it was almost like a little, they just landed. There was no hesitation. And that's what I love about Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo. There was just no hesitation whatsoever They hit the apron, rolled into it, and just Spanish fly down to the floor. Ah!
Here's the thing. I'm about this. Give me more Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo having a match. Give me Sheamus on the outside talking smack until his nose is fine and he can face one of them or preferably both of them. Cool. It's not the greatest thing on Raw. It's definitely not the worst thing.
Yep.
This is part of the show. I'm not mad at this booking, especially with Sheamus not wanting to relinquish the title. You want to keep having people that are exciting, that are going for him. I'm not happy with them doing a draw. I'm not happy with it. It's a way to keep this going forward. Fine. This is fine. It's not great, but it's not bad.
No.
And he said gobshite. So something that, Nick, I want to get your opinion on so badly. I tried to troll you yesterday with a tweet that Jackson Riker had been fired. Sadly, I don't think you really took it hook, line, and sinker. But
no, you were discovered.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Jackson Riker
it was really
still
awkward when he showed up on Monday Night Raw.
That didn't help.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But he showed up without his long flowing locks. He was getting into Baron Corbin country there with the top of his head.
He was, but he also committed the ultimate sin.
And that is?
He shaved off that glorious beard of his.
It cut it down. He cut it down.
Oh no. It's less than an inch long at this. Like, he went from basically what I've got to basically just having a close shaved beard.
Look, the bottom line is that big ass beard and his long scraggly hair made him look like a heel. Now he's all trimmed up and looks nice and is chasing a cowardly Elias out of the ring and winning by countout victory. They are full on committed to Jackson Riker as babyface.
I've been trying to tell y'all.
Oh, well,
what you've been trying to tell y'all.
Hey, I agree with you when you said that when Vince sees Jackson Riker, and probably here's his politics too, he's going to push that dude to the moon.
Witness.
Here's the thing. Fine, Nick. Here's the thing. What do you think is going to happen when we get back in front of an audience? Right now, they're controlling the horizontal and the vertical, and they're controlling the crowd cheers.
He has no gimmick. That's the thing that's missing.
They're going to try to push Elias as a face in front of a crowd, and it's going to go down like a lead goddamn balloon that's been dipped in lava.
Oh, no. I think they're doing the opposite. I think they're trying to...
What?
I think they're trying to make Jackson Riker a face.
That's what I'm sorry. I said...
You said
Elias? I meant Jackson Riker. Excuse me.
Okay.
I misspoke.
Okay.
They're trying to make Jackson Riker a face.
They've tried to make Elias face in front of an audience before, and it didn't go well.
No, Elias is better as a heel anyway.
Totally.
No, Jackson Riker face, lead balloon, lava. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Crowd will eat him alive.
Well, he's kind of a creator wrestler. He doesn't, with Forgotten Sons, he kind of had a gimmick, right? They had a story, they had a background, they were military guys. What story are they going to tell for a newly shorn Jackson Riker that doesn't look anything like his former self now? He looks like he's Shane Thorne kind of guy, you know?
Right.
Except Shane Thorne can wrestle.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You don't recognize this man. He never tweeted anything dumb about BLM.
He
didn't get
Men
his
in Black little
tag team. Yeah. Oh, WWE audience, you have no short-term memory.
Yeah.
You will forget it all, pal. We'll see how that works.
Oh, you know what?
I can't wait. I can't. You know what? This is one of the things I'm salivating for with the crowd come back. Go ahead. Try them.
He needs
Try
a
those
gimmick.
Crowds.
He needs a gimmick. Something that...
He has.
What's his gimmick?
He's ex-military guy with PTSD who heroically fights against the bully that's trying to beat him up and keep him down.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
He's a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. It's only a matter of time. He had the flag on his trunks this week.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time.
Yep.
Lex Luger, part 2, calling it.
Oh.
Jackson the narcissist Riker. It's coming.
Yep.
It's the Riker train.
Yep. And it's going to take him straight to WrestleMania. And you guys are going to have to eat so much crow.
I'm going to eat a bullet is what I'm going to eat if that happens.
Oh, come on.
Do we have... Good Lord. Speaking of eating a bullet, Cedric Alexander ate Jeff Hardy's finishing moves and lost. Cedric Alexander went from beating Shelton Benjamin in essentially a cheating squash match to saying that Jeff Hardy picking a fight with him because he says he's disrespectful to the old guys in the locker room, to the veterans. I'm going to teach this young whippersnapper what's what. And Cedric says, oh, it's your time, Jeff. You're going down. And then he just loses to Jeff Hardy straight up. If this is the beginning of a program that Cedric's going to win, fine. But either way, it's really dumb to have this guy have some momentum and then just stop it short.
Yep.
Jeff Hardy
with
wins.
Jeff Hardy.
Good God. Yeah. And finally, Mansoor was in the back working out, and Mustafa Ali comes up to him and says, you're facing Drew Gulak, huh? Well, guess what? See, Drew Gulak's a wily competitor. See, listen to me, buddy, and I'm going to tell you all the things you should do with Drew Gulak. Watch out for him. He's dangerous, see? Yeah. Mansoor goes out there. Drew Gulak tries some little tights pullage, but Mansoor is ready thanks to Ali. Caught you. Gets Gulak 1, 2, 3. Perhaps Mansoor is looking at Ali like he's like, maybe he could be my MVP.
Yeah. Are we really going to take Ali into a managerial role? I think he's an amazing in-ring performer. What are they doing? Putting him in a suit and having him mentor other guys. What is going on?
Holy crap.
This is Bizarro World all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, man.
Face Ali. I still maintain Face Ali could be your top baby face in the company.
Absolutely.
And they have just absolutely. You talk about a guy I feel like they've buried and misused. That's my number one.
He could be the second coming of Daniel Bryan. You know.
At least the it's like those who are dead have peace. Those they fired, Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black. At least they have peace, right? At least they're at the end of the story. Ali's suffering continues.
Yeah.
He is yet to find peace. Speaking of eating a bullet. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. I don't know.
Much hope at this point.
Much.
And it's like I said at the top of the show, not to rehash the whole thing all over again. That just a whole lot of indifference.
Maybe they're building up Mansoor for when they go back to
sad.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Feels like it's the whole reason.
That was it for Raw, aside from Evolution coming back next week, which don't even want to talk about that. Which means that, Nick, we've got to go back a couple of days and talk about the fallout for Double or Nothing on AEW.
Well, we're going to start off with the big news of AEW.
The big news.
Andrade El Idolo is all elite. Andrade is on AEW. And I was actually very surprised by this because it seems awful fast. Did he not have a 90-day? I guess not.
He had, I'm trying to remember how this was. Well, he was released, let's see, in March, was he not? So it's been 90 days.
Wow.
Time flies.
God, how is it?
Time flies.
June
in the
already,
pandemic,
man.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrade El Idolo. In the middle of, so Mark Henry comes out to say that he's not saying he's never going to get back in the ring, but he is going to be there on Fridays, announcing stuff. But he's looking forward to being in AEW, tightening the screws, as he says on his show, which is shockingly similarly named to ours, Nick. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But afterwards, out comes Vicky Guerrero screaming, "Excuse me." She screams so loud, the crowd's booing her so much, they kind of missed the fact that she says, "Welcome, Andrade El Idolo." And then they don't, the crowd, you can see they don't even realize what the hell's going on until Andrade walks out in his beautiful suit. And you can see them going, "Oh shit, it's him."
Yeah.
Because they just did not understand what she said. He walks out, the crowd
creaming
goes nuts.
himself over there because now he's got La Sombra back on AEW with him.
Right there, buddy.
Oh.
Right. That's right. So he comes out, very short, sweet promo. He says, "I used to say I was the face of Latinos, but I will become the face of all elite wrestling." Checks his suit and leaves. No music, which I think was a poor choice. They covered the fact the audience was very confused. We're used to music cues leading people in and out.
Yep.
I think that was a bad call, but the audience was still hot as hell for him. And sweet mother of God, Andrade in AEW, Nick. What are the possibilities?
Endless. Andrade
Endless.
versus Cody. Andrade versus
Andrade
Miro.
versus Cody. Miro. Kenny Omega. Pac.
Phoenix and Pentagon.
Phoenix. Oh
Phoenix,
my God.
Phoenix and Andrade.
Phoenix.
What?
Jesus Christ. There's so much. Yeah. And it's fine. He's finally in a place where they're not going to look at him and say, he can't cut a promo. He's not worth it, pal.
That was the best he ever sounded, in my opinion.
He doesn't need to do much.
No.
And if if you need to have someone lead him in, he's got Vicky Guerrero as a manager. Sweet. Done. Sold. Print the money.
Yep.
Print the merch. Print the merch. Not as much merch as Inner Circle has, though. They left the T-shirt under everyone's seat on the show this week. They came out to celebrate their win over the Pinnacle at Stadium Stampede. Talked about how great they were, how Sammy Guevara, after being the guy that made them lose blood and guts, was the guy that made them win at Stadium Stampede. Good for you, Sammy. But that they weren't done with Pinnacle yet. Now that they had their foots on Pinnacle's neck, they were not going to let it go. You had Jake Hager challenge Wardlow to an MMA match in a cage in 2 weeks. Okay. You had Jericho say, I've got more to do with you, MJF. Okay. Not really. I mean, I'm assuming then we're going to get a feud with
Sammy and Sean Spears.
Sammy and Sean Spears, I guess. We're going to see a feud with FTR and Proud and Powerful. Okay. It all sounds good except for one thing, Nick.
What's that?
If Pinnacle loses to all these guys again, that's terrible booking. Because then Pinnacle is pretty much dead in the water. They've just been beaten to shit. They've been beaten in a blow-off match. They won blood and guts on a technicality. They got their asses kicked in the match and then won on a technicality. They got their asses kicked all over Stadium Stampede. And then they're going to get their asses kicked. I mean, what? You think that Wardlow's going to hand Jake Hager his first MMA loss? No.
No, but I think the other guys might. I think FTR might beat LAX. I think Sean Spears could beat Sammy Guevara. I do think MJF could beat Jericho.
I mean, but the problem is that at this point in the rhythm of this feud, that doesn't necessarily feel 100% right.
No,
I agree that they should.
This has been drug out way too far. Well,
exactly.
we've been vocal about this. Like they need to go feud with some other stuff and then come back to it down the road.
Yeah, Stadium Stampede closing the show and having Inner Circle win, even though there was a stipulation they'd have to break up. It was the wrong. Pinnacle needed another strong win. We've been saying this since the start. Pinnacle, they put them out there as being something strong, but it's show not tell. Yeah. You can't tell us that they're a threatening group when they never freaking win.
Wyatt family. What?
Right. And this is part of AEW's booking. Faces win too much. So, yeah, unless Pinnacle is going to win some of these feuds here, this is a bad idea. Very bad idea.
And that's not even the reason that I'm been out of shape about them continuing to feud with each other. Both of these teams need wins, in my opinion. But even if they break them up into singles and tag teams, they need to be doing it with other people besides Pinnacle and Inner Circle. Like let FTR go off and fight. I don't know, whoever they want to fight. Let LAX go off. There's plenty of tag teams. You're not short on tag teams in AEW. Let Hager go fight Miro for the TNT Championship or something. There's other things to do here, and we're regurgitating the same things. Be careful, AEW. Be careful. You've already overdone it, and I'm already getting to the point of like, oh yeah, okay, this again, more of this. Okay, all right. And I'm losing interest, and I'm finding my focus shifted over to what's going on with Dark Order, what's going on with Hangman, what's going on with Miro in the TNT Championship. Like some of the hottest
There's still
things.
Good stuff here.
Yeah, right.
But some of it's starting to circle the drain a little too much.
Yeah, great way to put it. Jay Wolf threw in 100 bits, said using the PTSD angle really pisses me off. I'm assuming Jackson Riker here. My dad has dealt with that his whole life, and my best friend is still heavily affected by it. I already don't watch 2/3 of their product. They are about to lose me completely. Yeah, I hear you, Jay.
Yeah, that's a little it's a little bit of a sensitive subject. They haven't really gone 100%, just so you know, they haven't gone 100% into it yet. They just had the one moment where he was kind of doing the 1,000-yard stare and Elias was creeped out by it.
Yep.
They haven't full on said Jackson Riker has PTSD. They've just hinted at it. Until they and it's WWE. They don't do subtle. If they never mention it again, forget I said anything.
Yep.
Right? But keep your eyes out. They might just do it. So, do we have anything else to catch up on? Or we?
Oh yeah, Sheppy threw in 100 bits. Said Andrade versus Hangman Page. Put it in my eye holes.
Oh, yes.
God, yes.
Oh my God, that all day long. Give them half an hour and just sit back.
Oh,
Jesus. Yes, please. Britt Baker. Speaking of celebrations, she celebrated her win over Hikaru Shida. She came out with a whole bunch of Big Macs and said, hey, you know how Inner Circle told everyone to look under your seat and get a shirt? Well, look under your seat because I got, 1,200 free Big Mac coupons from McDonald's. They're all under your seats. I put them out there for you. Everyone goes to look. She's like, hold them up, everybody. Everyone's kind of looks confused. She goes, oh, that's right. I didn't put them under your seat at all. They're all right here.
Oh, no. He froze. No. Come back. Don't die on me, Skype. Oh, it's trying. It's trying.
Mine.
Oh, there. Okay, you're back.
Yeah. All those Big Macs belong to me, I said. All those Big Macs. And now I'm hungry.
Yes.
So she decided to cheer herself and indulge in some Big Macs. Gave Rebel some Big Macs. Gave Tony Schiavone a Big Mac. You know he likes Big Macs. Just look at him. That's just me. I love Tony Schiavone, but he does love a burger. I don't blame him. I love burgers.
I love burgers. I would have eaten that entire tray of Big Macs.
I was sitting there starving. I'm starving right now thinking about it. You know who wasn't? Nyla Rose. Screw your burgers. She grabbed those Big Macs and hucked them into the crowd. Screw your burgers. Upended the whole thing. She started walking away.
Face Nyla Rose? What?
I don't know if she's face. Sure looks like she's the first contender.
I mean, she's making sure the fans get what they came for, you know? Or, I don't know.
I mean, Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker. What do you think of this as the first feud for Britt?
Not the way I would have gone, but not mad at it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. You cement her as a champ. This is one of the most dominant women in the women's division. She's a genuine threat. Yeah, start there. Have her beat her.
Yeah.
Prove she's a good champ.
I feel like there's unfinished business with Thunder Rosa.
There is. I think that'll come.
And I think that'll come, but yeah, you're right. Save that for a big pay-per-view. Let's feud with Nyla for a little bit. Let's get to All Out or something like that and really set up Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I think that's the right way to do it. I think that's the feud that everybody wants to see. I think Thunder Rosa also still has unfinished business with Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship. So there's that going on as well. But, you know, I'm not terribly mad at the Nyla Rose one, but you're right. To your point, it does cement her as a legit champion, and we can move on.
Just to clarify, I love Tony Schiavone. It was not a shot at him.
What? Who's?
I love me some Tony Schiavone.
Oh God.
I tease.
Tony...
I got into the vein of Britt Baker always teasing him. No teasing, but Death Triangle is a scary faction. Not scary enough to beat the Young Bucks, but at least we open the show with Penta El Cero Miedo and Pac versus the Young Bucks, which, you know, as soon as you see that on paper, you know it's going to be a good match.
Oh God, yes.
And it was awesome. Young Bucks up to their heel antics these days. One thing to note, Frankie Kazarian killing Michael Nakazawa before the match even started. Nakazawa was seen later totally fine, so I don't know how effective Frank Castle Kazarian is right now, but
I do love Kaz just coming out of nowhere and wrecking dudes. It's amazing.
I do love Assassin Kazarian. Yes. I love that idea. I love it, and I love their execution of it so far. So, but Death Triangle does ultimately lose to Young Bucks. They even at one point they tried to strip off Pentagon's mask the way they did to Phoenix, and you didn't say the magic word. He had another mask underneath.
Brilliant.
Ooh, you. Yep. At the end, though, ultimately, the Bucks do use shenanigans to get the win. No surprise there. And they start to beat down on Death Triangle. Who should come to save them but Eddie Kingston? Interesting, considering how he and Pentagon left things. He comes out to save him. And backstage, he's about to be interviewed. Pac and Penta come running up to him and saying, "Don't you help us? We don't need your help."
Yeah.
And he just looks at them and goes, "Hey, man, the enemy of my enemy's my friend, okay?" And he walks off.
All right.
And next week I think it's Kingston and I I've got to look again. Kingston and Penta versus the Young Bucks. So interesting. All right, not mad at it.
Penta getting another shot at the Bucks.
Kingston is so over with the crowd. I love this. Like this is what I'm waiting for with WWE is to see like who has in the pandemic gotten themselves to that level with the crowd that you wouldn't have expected before the pandemic.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Where's Mox in all this?
Supposedly injured from all the Kamigoyes he took to the face.
Oh, okay. You mean V-trigger knees or whatever?
Yes. Sorry, I can't wait to talk about New Japan.
Yeah.
But first, we got to talk about Cody Rhodes, who couldn't lay down for Anthony Ogogo at the pay-per-view when it would have done the most good. Instead, in a tag match with Cody and Lee Shotty Johnson versus QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo, we had a situation where Cody was going for the crossroads on QT, ends up getting punched in the face by Ogogo while the ref's back is turned. KO'd. QT covers Cody and then starts screaming about how great he is to Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross and all the other guys on commentary.
Wait, hang on a second. I have to clarify something.
Yes.
Jacob in the chat said Deeb is no longer NWA Women's Champion. She just had a match with Riho.
She lost at the pay-per-view. NWA had a pay-per-view this last weekend, and she lost it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm behind. Thank you, Jacob. Yeah. I need to go follow up on that.
Also at that pay-per-view, Nick Aldis retained his championship via DQ, which is not how you want your pay-per-view to end. So people were kind of crapping on it. But Camille is now your NWA Women's Champ. I think that's the right choice.
North Carolina, represent. I love it.
Yep.
Hang on, I got one better.
North Carolina.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go.
Nick and his toys.
Yep. Thank you for the update on that guy. I hadn't kept up with that one.
Yep.
All right, where were we? Sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying how Anthony Ogogo helped the factory get the pin, and this feud continues. Why are they now trying to this feels to me like they're trying to walk back their decision at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but it's too late. You messed up.
That's my point. You messed up. You made the wrong choice at the pay-per-view. You can't now try to build a Go-Go up again. We know in a straight-up competition, Cody's going to beat him. The heat's gone from this angle.
Yep.
It's gone. Y'all killed it.
Yep. I love the QT Marshall Nightmare Factory thing that's going. He looks. I'm enjoying that. Don't try to do this anymore.
But they made it boring. And in the main event, Nick Camarado, despite having so Aaron Solo is the one who distracted the referee in the tag match. He came back out during the main event, Dustin Rhodes versus Nick Camarado in a bull rope match, essentially a strap match with a cowbell in the middle. He came out to distract at the end, didn't work, and Nick Camarado ends up yes, he did kick out of the finisher on the cowbell at 1, but then he ultimately gets put down and pinned and hogtied by Dustin for the win. So Dustin goes and beats the Factory in the main event after the Factory gets a shit win on Cody in a tag match. What are you guys doing? Camarado is probably the one guy in the Factory who looks legit, and you just had him beat.
Yep.
Straight up.
By a 50-something-year-old.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
Yep.
I know he's green. I know he's not quite ready yet. Camarado did not look ready for the main event. Then why put him in there? Why beat him? Why run down this faction?
Yep.
It's starting to, there's a lot of criticism going around about Cody, ego, booking.
He's fulfilling it.
That's the problem. It's starting to become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And it's something that I don't want to attribute to him because I like to think better. And there's no denying his connection with the crowd. He's going out there, the crowd is popping for him. They're into him. But this is decreasing dividends.
Yeah.
By continuing to have faces win when they don't need to and heels win when they don't need to in a feud that is being booked backwards.
You could have put Camarado to the moon in this match.
Could have.
Dustin Rhodes loves getting all bloodied up. You could have had Camarado come out and beat the absolute snot out of the legendary Dustin Rhodes. Crimson mask him up. And you'd believe it because Camarado is so jacked. You would believe it. I don't understand why you had to chump I would think he's one of the hottest prospect big men that they've gotten on AEW. He's got so much potential.
If Solo is like kind of the little guy of the factory, have Shoddy beat him earlier in the night and then have Camarado come out and get revenge for the faction by beating Dustin, leaving him a bloody mess at the end. That makes the factory look like a legit faction.
To the point he won't stop, even though the ref's pulling him off. He's so big, he just keeps
Make
going
him look
in
like
on
a
us.
beast.
And Cody and the whole Nightmare family has to come out and like pull Camarado off to get. And we're back to the first Double or Nothing with Cody and Dustin kind of thing.
They did let him kick out at one on the finishing move. That's great. But he ultimately loses the match.
Such missed opportunity with Cody to put a go-go over at Double or Nothing. Missed opportunity here to put Camarado to the moon as a legit big man, taking down Dustin Rhodes in his match stipulation of the bull rope match.
Right. Well,
that they made such a big deal out of coming to the ring.
Sure.
And I'm mad at this. There's no excuse for this kind of shit.
It's one of the major aspects of AEW that I've been critical of, and I'm going to continue to be critical of, is how they book baby faces, how they book monsters, and how Cody books himself and his faction.
Yeah.
It's not the best.
Hey, we got Jay with a $5 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you very much, sir. Says, I love Cody, but that is what he's doing.
Right. And here's the thing. I can't deny his connection to the audience. I can't deny that the guy knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to work a match and get himself over. He truly does. Taking a step back, in the bigger picture of things, his feuds don't organically evolve. They seem pre-set up to just get to that big babyface moment where he gets to be the big savior babyface.
Yep.
And they often move too quickly to that point.
Yep. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Jay.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. A couple more things on AEW. Jungle Boy teamed up with Christian Cage.
Hey, now.
And Christian Cage played the babyface in peril, and Jungle Boy was the hot tag. Nice. They had a match with Private Party. Matt Hardy outside the ring. I still get chills every time Matt and Christian Cage interact because that's just old school. At the end of the whole thing, Jungle Boy does end up putting the snare trap onto Private Party and winning this whole thing. Christian Cage says, "Good job, buddy." Starts to leave, and Matt Hardy gives him wasn't a side effect, gave him a
twist of fate.
Oh, damn it. Twist of fate. God, thank you.
Swinging neck breaker.
Thank you. On the ramp. So hostilities continue after this. Will Christian Cage and Jungle Boy stay linked? I don't know. Jungle Boy's got a title match with Kenny Omega coming up next week.
I'm good with this. Hardy Family versus Jurassic Express. Yeah.
And
with Christian Cage.
I love the Christian Cage and Jungle Boy mutual rub. I love the mutual rub there. Jungle Boy getting the veteran rub, and then Christian Cage getting that young, exciting, up-and-coming star rub.
Yes.
That's a good teaming.
Yep.
I like that. That's smart. That's good booking.
Indeed.
Red Velvet beat they gave him a good amount of time, too. Red Velvet and the Bunny had a nice little match.
Great match,
Bunny's
this
been
was fantastic.
Bunny's been beating women with brass knucks over on Dark. But this was Red Velvet. She straight up won this. Straight up match. Nice little bit of work. I think people forget that Bunny can actually wrestle and is actually a really good wrestler.
Yeah, Allie's not messing around, guys.
No, and I like the fact that she didn't carry Red Velvet. Like, Red Velvet's good, but I definitely feel like they need to utilize someone like Allie, like Bunny, get them in there with the women that are still kind of learning. Like, she's another person who's got experience. Get her in there doing these kinds of matches.
She's another one you could build like Britt was green as hell in the very beginning. Look at where Britt's at now. Allie's one that's actually got the legit experience and the years in the ring to do this kind of stuff, and the and the ability to promo as well. So you could take Bunny, Allie, and basically do what they've done with Britt over the course of the next 2 years, and you've got another strong heel female. In the women's division. And they've made her into this kind of valet for Butcher and Blade for the last year, which is fine. That's gone fine, but it hasn't really gone anywhere.
Ditzy like Minx, stealing, going off and having an affair with QT Marshall.
It's like Tokyo Peter, just without the thong. It's
not that bad.
It's
not that blatant.
Right.
More of a Stacy.
She's
Keibler.
not coming out with an actual pimp, right?
In an actual thong.
Right.
Or whatever the hell that is.
With a cottontail, right? Whatever it is. Anyway, my point is that, like, I think the Bunny gimmick might have run its course. I want to see Allie the wrestler. I want to see Allie come back. And she's so good, and she's so underrated.
Peter, by the way, is magical. The fact that that woman has not had a wardrobe malfunction on TV that's art right there.
There's no wardrobe to malfunction.
But that's my point.
It's floss. Like that's like
I know. How has she not had a wardrobe malfunction?
I don't know.
How has she not had a nibble in the South, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's impressive. That's impressive.
Oh.
Anyway, we digress.
We'll get to New Japan in a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got disruptive there for a second.
It's okay. Oh man, I didn't even have a transition for this. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page popped up on screen. We were talking to Darby Allin and Sting in the ring. Sting wanted to thank all the fans. Gosh, guys, it's so nice to be back and able to wrestle again. Jeez, gee willikers. Thanks, guys, so much for letting me wrestle. I've just heard from all you fans. It's great. I love coming out here looking like Scary Sting and sounded like 1989 Surfer Sting. It's just, gee, gosh darn it, guys, you just make me glow inside. Sting thanks everybody. Darby Allin's about to speak. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky show up, clapping sarcastically on the monitor, and say, you know what, Darby? You're just sitting there in Sting's shadow. You're his little bitch. And without him, you're nothing. So why don't you find another tag team partner and face us in tag team action next week, and we'll show you just how useless you really are. All right. Darby's got to go find a tag team partner to face Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. Okay, cool. Interesting. Not mad at it. Curious where it's going. I'm just Ethan Page, Darby, singles competition. Let's go. Ready for that feud. Let's go. And finally, a couple more things. Taz tells Hangman Page, speaking of find a partner, Taz tells Hangman Page, find a partner from the Dark Order for a match with Hobbs and Cage. We now know that partner will be 10 from the Dark Order. So Hangman and 10, Powerhouse, and Hangman.
Ooh, that match. Put that in my eye holes.
Give me this match.
All the way in my eye holes.
Yep, I'm ready right now. That's another good match I'm looking forward to.
Oh.
And finally, Orange Cassidy stalking around in the back. Best friends are saying, that was some bullshit, Kenny. That was some bullshit, Don Callis.
Yep.
Our boy had you beat. Goofy comedy wrestler. He had you beat. What now? You had to cheat to win. This ain't over. Orange Cassidy said, if you think it's done, it's not.
Yes.
Okay. More Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega after the last match they had. Yes, please.
Yep. All day.
Orange Cassidy proved he can be in the main event in front of a crowd. I don't know if they already knew that or if that match was to show that he could be. But either way, we're getting more, and yep, that's cool.
Yep.
Fine with that.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yep.
So all in all, kind of a hit or miss episode of AEW, but good stuff on the horizon. It's fine. For an AEW episode, it was not up to some of the standards I think we have for them, but it wasn't bad.
The Cody and Camarado shit's pissing me off, but other than that, I don't have much to complain about. We got Andrade as All Elite. We got a great bull rope match at the end of the show for the main event.
And to be clear, even that stuff, the Cody stuff, is like, I don't agree with them doing it, but it's not like wrong. I'm not sitting here. It's not like, Shayna Baszler being
stomping
scared by
a doll. Right.
Yeah. Stomping a doll and looking like she just won the Olympics. Like it's not that bad.
Lots of things moved forward. A lot of stuff got advanced here. Jungle Boy and Cage. I mean, that's fantastic. So, yeah. Let's go.
So lots to like about AEW, but certainly not their strongest episode, but not mad at it.
Nope.
Nick, do we have any catching up to do?
We don't, but what we do need to do is one more thing happened over the weekend after AEW Dynamite on Friday. Indeed. We had New Japan Dominion.
So not the biggest show, Dominion, only 5 matches, but 3 of them were big matches, 2 for titles. We had 2 tag matches. In the first one, Bullet Club beat Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, Chase Owens, Taiji Ishimori, and El Phantasmo with Dick Togo. Beat Hiroshi Tanahashi, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Sho. Okay, it's a New Japan big cluster F tag match. Fine. Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Bushi beat Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Dookie. I think the only thing to take out of this one is that it looks like Naito and Sonata will be tag teaming up to face Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. for the tag titles. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Naito and Sonata's a tag team. Poor Sonata, but same time, cool.
Right.
Curious to see how they're going to work that. Then we get to our big matches. El Desperado retained his junior heavyweight championship against Yo. It was a good match. Yeah. It was a good match, but long time coming, and it was kind of like, okay, well, there it was.
Thanks for stopping by, Yo.
Thanks for stopping by, Yo. Good try.
Yep.
Kota Ibushi and Jeff Cobb have been having a nice little feud. Cobb even made a move called the Kabagoye to try to counter the Kamagoye that Ibushi used. He tried to use it on Ibushi, didn't quite get it off on him. And Ibushi, even though Jeff kicked out of a Kamagoye earlier in the match, ultimately was able to put Cobb down with another Kamagoye later on. Ibushi does win to advance, to keep his winning ways going. Puts Jeff Cobb in his rear view. Although if they met again in the G1, I would not be mad because this match was pretty
Please
awesome.
put them in the same block.
Please. Yeah, this match was good.
Yeah.
But it was not as good as our main event, which was Shingo Takagi versus Okada for the vacant New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
It feels like we've been calling this for Takagi for 2 years.
I specifically called it after Wrestle Kingdom. I said, this is his year.
I think I said something about after the G1, but we got to go all the way back to the Will Ospreay Takagi match at Best of Super Juniors. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
As sort of the rise of Shingo that's happened. Holy
I remember
smokes.
when he first came into New Japan, he had like the undefeated streak for a while. And then he went kind of in limbo for a while.
Yeah.
And it was around that time that I was like, if WWE rated New Japan, who were the top 3 people they would grab? And I was like, my number 1 they should grab is Shingo Takagi because the dude is a star.
Yes.
The dude is a main eventer. He has been one of the most consistently good wrestlers and has put on consistently amazing matches for the last 2 years in New Japan. And he did it again here. His selling, his movement, his facials, everything in this match was main event quality. And funnily enough, Okada was the one here who looked like he was a step behind. And frankly, I'm willing to excuse him because Okada just had COVID less than a month ago. And you know that you have breathing problems afterwards. Like there's lingering issues. It looked like he couldn't quite get his breath a couple times in this match. He's also got slipped discs in his back. So coming into this, everything looked like it was coming up Shingo. And ultimately, after a pumping bomber and a Last of the Dragon, everything came up Shingo. He is your new IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Baller match, by the way. I don't think it's on the level of like the Ospreay Shingo matches, but just barely underneath it. It's real.
It's no Omega Okada, but I mean it's good.
It's still one of the best matches
really strong match.
Yeah, it's one of the best matches you'll see this year.
And what's up with Dominion? Why the last few years with all these good matches happening at Dominion? It's like normally, traditionally, that's not a huge pay-per-view.
It's funny, and usually, it actually traditionally kind of is one of their big ones. And this year it felt kind of small because COVID just destroyed them over the last month.
That's a good point.
The recent outbreak, like they just didn't have much to do. But at least they got this. And he called out Ibushi. So it looks like he and Ibushi will be facing each other either, I'm assuming, at Kizuna Road or Summer Struggle. We'll see a Shingo Takagi and Ibushi feud, which, yes, please put that in my eye holes. And I think it's also smart because if, Takagi can't really say he's champ, kind of like with Britt Baker and Nyla, you go against the guy who was the recent champ. He's got to cement this title victory, and Ibushi's the guy to do it against. So
fantastic.
Love it. And I could not be happier. I've been wanting Shingo to be champ for years. I said this was his year to be champ, the top of this year. And it is now so, Nick.
Yes.
Shingo Takagi is now wearing the New Japan butterfly belt. And
the New Japan Divas belt. IWGP Diva belt.
He's the prettiest diva in all the land.
Kyle Cotton just threw in 100 bits. Switching gears here a little bit. Apparently, breaking news, Leo Rush just announced his retirement. I'm assuming from professional wrestling.
He just signed with New Japan.
Didn't he also just debut as the 30th man at the Joker card at AEW Double or Nothing?
Well, that was supposedly a one-off. but he signed a contract with New Japan. What is with this guy? I haven't seen the article, so I don't know what Kyle is referring to, but we'll take a look at that and see what's going on.
I wonder if it's another from WWW PR advisor or whatever the Twitter account you tried to mess with me with.
Or it's just Leo being Leo. He doesn't like how they treated him in New Japan, so he's going to take his ball and go home.
Go make some more rap songs. They were good, man.
I never listened to him. Only wrestling rap I listen to is Macho Man.
Well, there you go, guys. There's a breakdown of Dominion, and that's the main show, but we're not done just yet. We've got to do over and do something what we like to call our moment of positivity. Mop.
The moment of positivity. That's right. It's the time of the show. We look back over everything that we talked about in the show today, which is more than normal, and we had to think about something that made us happy. All of this criticism and all this bitching can go right out the window. We're going to talk about something good. The thing that made us the happiest this week, something that made us positive, something that we can look at and say, yes, that is good. We like what they're doing there. Something that can leave us warm and fuzzy inside. We're going to share it all with you. Hopefully put smiles on your faces to go back out into the world with. So, Nick, what was your moment of positivity for this show?
It wasn't anything as complicated and specific as you just laid out. It was Miz coming down in slow motion in a wheelchair. I was dying laughing, and I wondered, did they actually plan that? Did they just get a fluke on the Morrison entrance?
No, it was way too. They had to.
Because I saw Morrison push him forward just a little bit, and then he turned around to grab his microphone, and Miz just starts rolling, and bang, it cuts into the slow motion. And the look on his face, it was so good.
It was too perfect. It was so perfect.
That's definitely mine. I can't not say that one. Besides, Raw was dog shit. So that was one shining moment.
Positivity.
Oh, positivity. Yes, that was one. That was the shining light.
Positivity. Damn it!
In the giant turd that was Monday Night Raw.
Come on, stay positive.
Yeah, I am.
Mine was, I'm also going to be brave and try to find one in Raw. Mine is Kroska. Nikki and Asuka dancing on the table after winning their match. After pinning the champion. After pinning a champion again, it wouldn't be a week of Raw without a champion getting pinned. Nikki Cross and Asuka, I love it. They're fun. They're entertaining. I think it's a great fit for Nikki Cross in terms of a partner who can actually bring out a side of her that they always say, you're not going to get booked well until Vince is a fan of you. Maybe she can show a side, like if Vince obviously is a fan of Asuka, maybe Asuka can bring out a side of Nikki that will make Vince a fan of Nikki. Because Lord knows I'm a fan of Nikki. I want to see her do well. I am all for Kroska.
The difference is I want to see her and Asuka having last woman standing ladder matches, not this shit.
It was years ago.
It was years ago. And they bungled the whole damn thing. So
I can't watch WWE. I'm not getting Batista versus John Cena anymore. That's what I really want, but I'm not getting it. So I'm not going to watch.
Nobody's out there saying that, I promise.
Man, they're not giving me the Shield, so I'm not going to watch. If Seth and Roman can't be buddies, I'm not going to watch. Man.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Hey, don't run off anywhere. We are going to be doing the patron mailbag after we do the outro. Take a quick 10-minute break, but grab a drink, grab a snack, grab all that, take a bio break, all that good stuff. We'll throw on the synth wave for 10 minutes, come back, and do the BWO mailbag show, which is our favorite one, where our patrons and YouTube subs can send us, or YouTube members, I should say. I got to get all the terminologies right.
Pet your dog.
Yeah, take a break, stretch your legs, get some blood back in your system, do some jumping jacks, maybe jump rope, go for a walk, all those kinds of things. But hey,
hug your snakes.
We'll be back. Let's call it right at the top of the hour. We got about 12 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll be back at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific to do the BWO mailbag as soon as we do a quick break. But thank you very much, patrons, for all of your support. Thank you guys for all the bits and subs, and thank you, Jay, for the super chat over on YouTube. Linktree.com/BWO is the place to find all the links to all the things. Make sure you guys like, follow, share, subscribe, all of the stuff, because it really does help the most. We really do appreciate you guys getting the word out about BWO. Let's see. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you guys so much. We're looking forward to seeing all your questions here in just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Do not forget, Sunday is NXT in your face, in your house, in your
house,
all up in your shit. Okay.
In your house.
We got a takeover on Sunday, so make sure you get into the Discord so that you can have the chat channel with us. We'll be doing the recap show immediately after on Sunday evening, so be ready for that. Plus, we'll be back Friday to recap this week's AEW. Are they doing AEW on Friday this week, or is it Wednesday again?
They sure are. God damn it.
Awesome.
Friday or Saturday. It's either Friday or Saturday this week. I got to look at. So either this week or next week is for sure Saturday.
Doesn't matter. It's not Wednesday, so we'll be covering it again on Tuesday.
That's true. Yes. Either way.
But yeah, Sunday we've got that. Plus, we'll be here Friday night immediately after SmackDown to cover, I guess, just NXT and SmackDown this week again. But until then, guys, my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And you can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous because I'm Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God,
would somebody stop the damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.